Welcome to the BAM Sports Show.
I carefully placed all of it in various trash cans around.
Any other headlines you guys are interested in tomorrow?
I'll poop in a urinal.
It's going to be a wet one.
He shoots, he scores, you suck.
Rick's wife is going to make him sleep in the bathroom tub tonight.
A dark horse candidate of where I may eventually want to end up living for good.
Welcome to a brand new sports show experience coming through your wavelengths. Let's get ready to have some fun. So sit back, crack open a drink, and let's talk some sports.
And welcome to the best goddamn sports show on Friday nights. Welcome to the BAM Sports Show. I'm your host, Blake. I'm joined tonight with the boys. What up, fellas?
What's up?
What's going on, dude?
Oh, living that dream. Mama Matt and Just is on her way. Excited to see her. See her and my aunt this evening and this weekend. Spend some time with them. Missed out on a draft. Super disappointed about that.
Yeah.
I know.
Tomorrow is the draft Powerball lottery for our league.
Mm-hmm. It's a big day.
Yes, sir.
Depending upon when, 6 o'clock. I may be available. I don't know if I'll answer or not.
It will be at 8 p.m. your time is the start time.
I should be home
will maybe be driving, so I might miss it. I don't know.
Well, it'll be there for you to watch later.
Yeah.
It'll be a good time, though. It always is. Rick always puts on a production. I am super jealous that I'm missing the boys tomorrow at John's house for the No Rebellion League. Keith is not with us tonight because he's currently at a swingers party. More on that later.
Whoa. Hosted by Total Fallacy.
Yeah, Danny's not with us tonight either. He'll be back next week, I think he said, or maybe not next week, the following week. I don't know.
Or two, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting back into it, guys. We had some football. We had Friday Night Lights, preseason. What were you saying, Rick?
I was going to say, depending on what happens this upcoming Monday, I'm not sure what my schedule is going to look like. So
that is true.
I may be on a bit of a hiatus. I have zero idea.
That is true.
This could be my last show for a little while.
In case you were wondering, Rick is being sent overseas to assassinate somebody important.
Absolutely.
Osama bin Laden again.
No, it was actually
SEAL Team Rick.
It was actually Ronald McDonald. He's he's wanted by the United States government. And Grimace for fraudulently sharing his birthday and profiting off of it.
Grimace, I heard he's got some deep ties over there with one of our adversaries.
Yep.
Some say that Grimace is actually running North Korea right now.
Yep.
When you say Grimace, I just think of the Philadelphia. No, the Philadelphia Flyers hockey mascot. That's all I can think about.
Oh yeah.
Gritty or whatever his name is.
Gritty. Yeah. Gritty's the greatest mascot in the history of mascots.
Except for Clark.
No, I was right the first time. I don't care. I don't give two shits about that pantsless bear.
Oh man! So we got a big show for you guys tonight. We got to get through the AFC and NFC South divisions later tonight. I probably won't be here for that. I got to get out of here in about 10 minutes, but I wanted to pop on and at least get the show started with the boys.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What do we want to start with? We had some.
Well, we were talking about. Let's lead it off with the bad news. Rick does not know what's going on. So Wander Franco, what a situation!
Oh yes, this is bad news.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, Wander Franco was just outed via Instagram, I think, with pictures kissing on and all that.
Oh, I did see this.
14-year-old girl.
Wow.
Yeah, and also there's apparently more coming forward.
That's the part that's troubling, right? It's like there was the tweet that was like more minors involved. It's like more? Like one's bad, dude. Like one's bad enough.
He's 22. So if the girl was like 17, the age difference there isn't huge. It's still bad.
Right.
Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But nope, 14.
14. And that's what blows my mind with people. I mean, you see outside of just, the first at least in my lifetime that I can remember, kind of big name to bring that type of stuff to light, was Chris Hansen with To Catch a Predator and Hansen versus Predator. But now you see all over YouTube and all these different social media sites, you see a lot of kind of lesser, well, I guess in their own right, fairly well known in some cases. Yeah. But channels where they have their own, kind of like sting operation set up, and they have their Instagram pages and their Facebook and their Twitter and their YouTube channels and all this. And they people are constantly getting caught. In fact, one of the Navy meme pages that I'm on had showcased, there was like an Instagram account, kind of a sting operation type thing. For a Navy chief that got caught up in one of those. It was like trying to meet with I think a 13 or 14-year-old at like a movie theater and was talking dirty and all this. It's clearly out there. People are aware of this shit now. That it wasn't bad before.
We just had a sting happen with 8 dudes getting caught here in Springfield.
Shannon asks, what's his defense? They were on the East Coast, so she's actually a couple hours older.
Yes, exactly.
Unreal, Shannon. Unreal. Exactly. We had there's a big one here in St. Louis, and I was actually coaching at a gym. And I'm not gonna say the name of the gym, but one of their dads got caught on we were at the gym coaching in the middle of choreography when the sting went down, and the kid was at the gym. Wow. It was just a sticky situation. It was
but that's exactly my point, is not that it wasn't bad and people weren't abhorred by it before, but it is that has been brought so far into the limelight.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you even take the fucking chance?
Why? Right. I don't understand it.
You stand such a huge chance to get caught. And I mean, obviously, you shouldn't be doing it because it's morally disgusting.
Yeah, it's absolutely abhorrent.
But you stand such a huge chance of getting caught with that shit. Why even take the risk?
Yeah, it just blows my mind. It blows my mind. I mean, I'm thankful, not thankful. That was the wrong word. I'm in St. Louis because of a situation where a coach was dating an athlete.
Wow.
And then I moved down here and I started coaching, and then Jess was on the older team, and then we started dating. And then Jim was like, look, man, you moved here because a coach was dating an athlete. We can't have you dating an athlete. I'm like, she's older than me. She's literally older than me. What are you talking about?
She's a coach.
They were like, you either got to quit coaching the team or break up with her. This was a week into us dating. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll quit coaching the team. And then my best man, Kyle, yeah, it all just kind of worked out. We told that story at our wedding, and the gym owner was there. Funny. Like a total ass.
That's funny.
But yeah, I don't understand it. I mean, even you've got money, you've got power. You can find some 2019 18-year-old girl, or like you said, Ryan, 17 is borderline questionable. Obviously, it's still wrong, but it would make a little bit more. Sure.
And even then, that's just
correct.
Yeah, a little
wait a fucking year at that point. And and I admittedly looked up. He's from the Dominican Republic, so of course, okay, let's think about it culturally. Maybe the age of consent there is lower. Nope, it's 18. Yeah, it's 18. And so he knew it was wrong.
Right. Wow. Yeah, no, that's a shame.
Hopefully,
on a lighter note, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's start with the bad shit, and then we can just
get the bad shit out of the way.
On a lighter note, one of the fans of the show shared an interesting article, a huge breaking news piece that I think you gents might
pop
want
it up
to
just now.
Yeah,
Ready?
Absolutely. Yeah, so breaking news, Putin vows retaliation should Ukraine become a member of the Big Ten, warning that President Zelensky should think carefully about the repercussions of changing his country's college football conference alignment. Russian President Vladimir Putin reportedly vowed retaliation should Ukraine ever become a member of the Big Ten. There's absolutely no reason why Ukraine needs to join the Big Ten outside of provoking Russia. and should anyone apply for membership, will be met with the harshest consequences, said Putin, pointing to Ukraine's position in the neutral firewall of countries that have long served as a geographical buffer between Russia and Big Ten members like Indiana and Rutgers.
Unreal.
Any move to even increase the number of games between Ukraine and Big Ten schools will be considered as an act of aggression against the Russian state and will be met with proportionate force. These universities have been these universities have been stoking hostility against Russia for decades, and we caution Ukraine not to indulge their thirst for power. Frankly, this is for Zelensky's own good. We know why the University of Michigan co-founded the Big Ten all those years ago as a vehicle for its own nefarious interest in NCAA Division I sports. And we urge Ukraine not to become a puppet of Alan Haller, the University of Michigan athletic director, in a prolonged proxy session between Big Ten schools and Russia. At press time, tensions were rising after Russia pulled their ambassador from Penn State.
That's fucking good.
Let's make sure we throw that original link in the description. So we
Absolutely. That was brought to you by The Onion.
That's too funny.
Our probably most valuable, our most loyal fan, Shannon, shared that link with us. I love The Onion.
So good.
It is the online newspaper version of what was like the Ocho back in the day.
Yeah.
Right? So,
oh man. So that's the baseball news. The Cardinals called up their top prospect, Mason Wynn. The Angels are doing Angels things right now.
Yeah, they are.
They
drafted. Buying, baby. They're going for it.
They're buying, and then they're also calling up their first round pick just 40 days after he was drafted.
Wow.
Nolan Shanuel. He was the 11th overall pick. Less than 100 minor league plate appearances across 20 games, and he's already up.
How did he do though in those 100 plate appearances? He about like 750.
Let's see. I'm looking right now. His in college this year he hit 447.
Okay.
So almost half of all of the balls, with 19 home runs, 71 walks.
Wow.
Would you guess how many strikeouts? This sounds like a big bat, right?
70.
14.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
wow.
He's good. He's a first round pick. 40 days though is wild.
That's that's unheard of in baseball, isn't it?
Yeah. It's the fastest call up there has ever been before minor leagues were what they are now. So in 96 plate appearances across 3 minor league levels. So he's already hit 3 levels in the minor leagues. He hit 370 with a 510 OPS and 493 slugging with 21 walks and just 10 strikeouts.
Jeez.
Wow.
And that it brings up a really interesting conversation to have. Should more teams do this? Do you think that the years and years and years of instruction that they get in the major leagues and building them up slowly instead of just like, hey man, you hit 447, let's just keep this rolling. Like, I don't know. I've always wondered if when you see these big name prospects fail and falter, it's just because they're used up in the minor leagues. And while some, Mike Tauchman is a really good example. He was a higher draft pick, I think, and he spent a lot of time in the minors and floating around, and now he's flourished for the Cubs this year.
Yeah.
And I just wonder if he would have had less minor league and just been called up to the majors. That talent's there. So yeah. I don't know.
It's an interesting. I mean, I can see it on teams that are sellers, right?
Yeah.
Like you're out of it.
Like the Pirates.
like the Pirates.
Pirates, if they called up Paul Skeen right now, I would not.
Yeah. Let's bring him up. Let's see if the speed plays. Let's see if the bat plays. Let's bring him up, get him some experience, send him back down to the triples or doubles later. Like, it doesn't hurt. But for a team that quote unquote was buying at the deadline and is quote unquote trying to make a push, it doesn't make sense. Why experiment something like this?
Right.
Because you're risking two things, right? Like, you're risking A, shitting the bed this year, and B, you're risking ruining this kid's development on a first-round pick. So if the kid does come up and struggles,
true,
and then now, he gets in his head or listens to a piece of advice from someone from something, and just now you send him back down to the doubles. Now his self-esteem is going to be in his, all over the place. His development may be crazy. You may set this kid back 2 to 3 years.
That's what I'm saying. You get the wrong thing in a kid's ear.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. This is something that I'm gonna follow just because it's such a big, crazy good bat. He's just a first baseman as well.
Right.
So he's not playing the most demanding. So that makes you think like, okay, that bat is an actual tool there.
Agreed. Yeah.
And it's going to be very interesting to watch. Just watch his development now that he's 40 days into his professional playing career.
Yeah,
that's so already crazy. He's collecting major league checks now.
That's really cool.
So
good for him. I hope it works out. I got no reason not to.
Speaking of the call-ups, and not to kind of switch sports here, but it's in the spirit of players kind of getting their shot in the big leagues. One thing that I have been super happy to see is all over my feed. It seems like every other day or every couple of days, I've been seeing the XFL post a lot of players that are signing with NFL teams, which is really, really cool. I want to say
that time of year.
Yep.
North of, I want to say about 50 or 60 players at this point have like actual NFL contracts.
I think it's 50. I think you're right. It's just over 50.
Yeah.
Jordan signed today, by the way. I don't know if
you saw that. That's probably the most notable signing would be Jordan Teamu signs with the Minnesota Vikings. And although I guess, to maybe much to our chagrin, though we're not a big fan of him, can't deny the guy played well in the XFL. Ben DiNucci signed a contract with the Broncos fairly recently. I can't remember exactly when it was.
2 weeks ago, maybe.
Yeah.
What was the name of that DC running back, that big dude?
Abram Smith.
Where did he get a shot?
He did end up signing. So I want to say he did sign somewhere. I can't remember where though.
So I have
Vikings, actually.
Who was it that you were looking at?
Abram Smith from DC.
Vikings.
Yeah. Oh wow. So him and Jordan are paired back together up there in Minnesota.
Yeah, I've got all of the names too, and it looks like the Vikings so far are like deep because they've I'm like halfway through, and I think I've seen them like 5 times. That's good for them, cool.
No, yeah, that's cool. I mean, it. And as much as I loved what I saw during the 2020 season, and there were like I think a few people that got shots in the NFL, but it really seems like the product was even more polished this time overall. And kind of some of the other rule changes that they implemented, which that's actually another thing I want to touch on here in a second. But no, it's really cool getting to see these players get opportunities that they may not have otherwise gotten to see. I'm excited to watch Hakeem Butler with the Steelers. I think
he has a good shot of actually making that team too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, the kid, and what's like his story is probably one of the craziest in the XFL because he didn't get drafted, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
He literally just hit up Coach Beck for the St. Louis Battlehawks. Like he was blowing up his DMs to get a shot. Yeah. And finally he got a shot.
He was originally a 4th round pick of the Arizona Cardinals, but only played in 2 games with the Eagles in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he got a shot, ended up being the best receiver in the XFL. And now he joins a fairly young Steelers team. Kenny Pickett second-year quarterback. He should be better than he was last year. He's not going to be a world beater. But I like that receiver room, between Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, and possibly Hakeem Butler. That's not a terrible receiver room.
Pull up the Steelers' actual depth chart now.
Turd biscuit.
About it. Kenny Pickett.
Yep.
It's Pickett time, baby.
So right now, Hakeem's stashed in on the second team after Allen Robinson.
Gross. That won't.
So your three starters are Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, and then Allen Robinson, and then they've got Calvin Austin the third, Miles Boykin, Hakeem Butler there.
Here's
so
the
I mean,
thing
like
about
he has
A-Rob,
a really good shot. I think
A-Rob ain't gonna play because Tomlin ain't gonna let that shit slide.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He has that number 3 role right now because they have like legitimate money invested in him.
Yeah, no, that's 100% what it is. There's money in it.
Right. Like as soon as he starts doing Allen Robinson things, here's this other big body receiver that can go up and get the ball and play that role much better than he can. I think it would not surprise me if he did not jump into that number 3 role sooner rather than later. And honestly, depending on where George Pickens is at in his development, I know it's a long shot, but if you were to tell me that he ended up as the number 2 receiver at some point during the season, I wouldn't be totally shocked. I think he has that kind of potential.
Yeah.
Now, again, it's a long shot.
I think Pickens is looking pretty solid pick.
Yeah, I like George
from what
Pickens.
I saw last year.
And obviously, take things into consideration like health and whatnot. But all I'm saying is, if an opportunity opens up, and Hakeem Butler continues to play the way that he did for St. Louis, there's
no doubt.
I think it'll be fine.
And this is most likely a 1-year deal too. I'm guessing. Yeah, most of them are. So yeah, let's imagine somebody goes down with an injury and he gets his shot and he just balls out. Well, now you've got teams coming to you.
Yeah,
right.
Do you think Pickens is a viable fantasy option this year?
Yeah.
See, I actually
not as year 1 or year 2.
No.
Like plug him in on flex.
I would say as a deep flex, maybe.
Yeah.
I just had my first draft recently, and it's kind of a weird roster setup. It's a 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, and 2 flexes, a tight end, a kicker, and a defense.
Yeah.
And I got Deontay Johnson as my number 3 receiver. And I really like the value on Deontay Johnson this year, as I think his ADP has sunken so much by way of Kenny Pickett and getting 0 touchdowns last year. I don't see him scoring 0 touchdowns again this year.
He's Deontay Johnson is currently in Fantasy Pros tier 5 wide receivers at number 32, and then Pickens is right there at 36.
Yeah, but I think that Pickens' ADP, correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say his ADP is slightly higher than Deontay Johnson's. I might be off on that, but I want to say I checked somewhere and his ADP was just a smidge higher.
81 for Pickens and 78 for Johnson. So they're right there together.
They're right there, yeah.
Yep.
I like the value of Deontay Johnson this year.
Yeah, it just depends on what Kenny Pickett does,
For sure. It was my number 3 receiver. I'm fine with it. I have Tyreek Hill, Brandon Ayuk, and him. So I think that's not bad.
Yeah, but start freshening up on all my fantasy stuff. I got a draft tomorrow.
Yeah, you do.
But no, speaking of the XFL and whatnot, and talking on those lines, there was an article on ESPN talking about how the NFL is actually considering implementing the XFL's kickoff. So, and actually a direct quote from Richard McKay, the chairman of the NFL competition committee. I remain optimistic that we can find creative solutions, whether it's a version of the XFL's kickoff rules or a replay or a reboot of this play altogether. So pretty cool. we kind of beat the drum on that all this past XFL season.
I feel like that's the main one that we all were like, oh, dude, the NFL should do this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's, I mean, let's
so
a lot of
sense.
If I could have that and the transparency when it comes to reviews and ref communications.
Yep. I think the transparency would probably be my number one. Number two for me would be the either the post touchdown, extra point rules, and or the 4th and 15 from your own 25. I think that's badass. But the kickoff definitely is a huge nod in the favor of player safety. So I'm all for that. I'm all for players staying healthy. But that's not to say like it doesn't completely take away from the fun of the game, because there's penalties if you end up kicking it outside of that zone. Like the kicker has to be very accurate. I forget what the rules were exactly, but I want to say like if you don't kick it within that 25-yard radius there, the receiving team got to move up the field quite a ways, so pretty neat stuff.
Real quick, I got to get out of here. My family's almost here, so I'm going to take off. I'm going to drop my AFC South. Give me Jags, Tennessee, Houston, Indy. Jags, Tennessee, Houston, Indy.
All right.
NFC, it's a crapshoot.
It really is.
Crapshoot. Give me Atlanta, New Orleans. No, Carolina, New Orleans, Tampa shitty.
Okay. All right,
boys.
Duly noted, my friend.
Take us home, boys. I'll see you guys next Friday. Bye.
Bye.
Hopefully this doesn't fucking close you guys out when I leave.
No, it won't. The host.
Yep.
All right. Let's get back.
I gotta switch back to this beautiful.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's such a cool setup, man.
It is.
I love that setup so much.
It works out real well. It doesn't work out well if you're by yourself, but I have a custom setting now that if I had to do the show by myself, I would be just in the middle of this.
Oh, there you go.
Because before it was like blown up over it.
Right. I think it looks pretty clean with two people, though.
Yeah, for sure. So NFL, I guess we're just there.
Yep.
I'm trying to see. There's a lot of fights. This was the week that teams had the joint practices.
Yeah.
Keith was saying in the group chat that there was 8 Packers-Patriots fights, separate fights.
Yep.
I know Bears gotten a couple little tussles, but overall that was a pretty clean one.
The Cowboys have been getting in a lot of fights with themselves.
Yeah, they have. Other. It's par for the course.
My favorite one, and I don't remember who it was that he got into it with, but at some joint practice that the Jets had, I don't remember what team it was. I was just like bullshitting, while I'm at work, just kind of killing time, waiting outside for someone or whatever the case was. But Aaron Rodgers had gotten into it with, I think it was one of the opposing coaches. I'm not too sure. But he was like, "Yeah, what's up? What's up, you little bitch?" He's like, "You looking fat as shit right now."
It's nice that I can be a little more of an Aaron Rodgers fan now that he's away from the bad team.
Yeah, you know what? I wonder. I don't think it's going to be near quite the same, but I remember there was a distinct change in opinion for me about Tom Brady as a person
once he went to Tampa Bay.
Right.
The leash was let off, and you got Tampa Tom. That's the true Tom.
Yeah.
He's a Michigan boy.
Florida Man Tom was fantastic.
I loved Florida Man Tom. That is also when it flipped, and I'm like, we're actually watching the greatest quarterback of all time.
Right, right.
Historically, there's nobody that has. It's him.
There's no way you can deny it. If you don't think that he is the singular best one to play the game, you're smoking crystal meth.
He's the LeBron James of football.
He is the Michael Jordan of football.
It's the LeBron James.
Statistically speaking, he is the Michael Jordan of football.
Well, actually, statistically speaking, if you want to talk true numbers.
Yeah. How many rings do they have?
Oh, no. We're talking statistics now. LeBron's got like 5, right?
I thought he had 4.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. But like he is the number 1 scorer of all time.
Yeah, but it also took him longer to get there.
Did it?
Yes.
It took Kareem shorter.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah.
He still got it. I mean, it's cool that he's playing at the level he's at 38, 39. I know how I feel at 38.
No.
Not basketball already.
Yeah.
Maybe wheelchair basketball.
No, but it's this is both South divisions for both the NFC and AFC.
Yep.
There's really, of both divisions, there's only really one team that I feel super confident in saying, yeah, no, like they're hands down like the strongest bet to win their division.
Right. Who's that?
The Jags for the AFC.
Yeah.
The Jags.
They're just set in such a good position now.
No.
And I haven't heard anything negative come out of camp. No. And now they're adding Calvin Ridley, who, by the way, still super young, has a year of freshness on his body. So any lingering injuries that he had or
2 years. Or remember, there was the year that he stepped away for.
Oh yeah,
take care of his mental
about
health.
A year, the season and a half.
Yeah. So and
it's the Vegas odds while we're talking.
Did you see the video of like them? It was during practice, they were just like running routes, and stuff like that. Like nothing, it wasn't like, they were like scrimmaging against each other. It was just like
practice.
Right. Practice routes. Like just, the receiver goes out for a route and the quarterback throws it. He doesn't have anybody like defenders coming at him or anything. But they had, who was it? Zay Jones go out and it looked like a pretty crisp route. And then Calvin Ridley immediately after goes out and runs that same route. And you would think like someone had like an old VCR player. And while like the movie was playing, like hit the fast forward button.
Yeah.
He just looked like 10 times faster.
What was he? He was like a top 10 pick, wasn't he?
I'm not sure, but that sounds about right.
I feel like he was like number 8 or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm looking that up. Don't worry.
But I mean, they have
Alabama.
This will be the second year now for Trevor Lawrence under Doug Peterson. They caught lightning in a bottle late there in the season. They had a stretch of games that was pretty rough.
He was 26, by the way.
Oh wow, okay. Had a stretch of games that were kind of rough, but they caught fire when it mattered most. And so I think second year under Doug Peterson, this team's only getting better. They get Calvin Ridley now. Really, I understand that this is his technically third year in the NFL, but in all reality, this is Travis Etienne's second year, if you really want to be like actually playing in the NFL, because he missed his entire rookie season.
That's true. That is true.
So you have him. They drafted a big bruiser in Tank Bigsby. They still have Christian Kirk. They still have Evan Ingram. They have a lot of young talent on that defensive side of the ball between Josh Allen and
I love him. He's such a stud.
He is. And who's that kid? Walker. I can't remember his first name. The kid that they drafted last year.
Oh, Trevon?
Trevon Walker, something like that. Trayvon Walker. But they've got young
Trayvon Walker. Travon. Yep.
Gotcha. Yep. So a lot of young talent on that defense. There's really nobody in the AFC South that I could see as a legitimate threat. The only case that I could make that I could comfortably make would be the Titans, because Mike Vrabel's a great coach.
Yeah.
They have DeAndre Hopkins now.
If anybody's going to get the most out of that team, it's him.
Right, right.
I have that video before we move off of the Jags.
Sure. You talking about the one I shared?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the one you were talking about with Zay Jones and the,
got you. Yeah. Go ahead and pull that up.
Yeah, give me a sec.
Jones running a route, but look how fast Calvin Johnson gets off his break. Or not Calvin Johnson, Calvin Ridley. My goodness, showing the speed. Looks like that year off was, he was working on some things. Obviously, look how fast he gets off his route. I don't know. Zay Jones was just not running 100%. So,
that was
crazy fast.
Dude, holy cow. That's like the best video I could find, by the way.
Yeah, no, it's all good. No, the video that I was going to share was more just to kind of, again, like I continue to pound the drum and lend credence to Jacksonville sports fans. I was at what was basically the division championship. It was the final game of the regular season. And whoever won the division and made it into the playoffs. So this was the final game of the regular season between the Jacksonville Jaguars and Tennessee Titans. And man, was that people kind of clowned on Trevor when, they'd asked him about, being in front of that hostile, like really loud Kansas City crowd when the Jags went up there to KC in the playoffs. And he made a comment. He's like, well, hey, give our fans their flowers too. They're pretty rambunctious. And certainly the Jag Stadium is not anywhere near Arrowhead, but that is not to say that they are not electric. And so again, I have to give,
pop this one on now.
Please do. Yeah. This was at the final.
Is this kickoff?
Yeah, so they were introducing them on the field.
Oh. The seats aren't bad either.
I mean, look how packed that place is.
Dude, it's filled to the brim. It's such a nice looking stadium, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, and you can tell, like, actually going to a game at that stadium, it's very, very obvious that stadium was built in the 90s.
Oh yeah. They have the Taco Bell colors everywhere.
It has quite a bit of the aesthetic, yeah. But I love it. It's the games there. I've yet to go to a game that I had a legitimately bad time at, but no. So I think that with the buzz that they're getting, they've already got plans in place to renovate that stadium.
Nice.
Which I don't know if you've seen the designs for it, but it looks pretty awesome.
I have not. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah,
I think you shared them once in the group, but that was a while ago.
It was a little while ago. But no, I've got the Jags winning this division pretty handily. I think that this is going to be a transcendent, and spoiler alert, I really like Trevor Lawrence for fantasy this year. I think that he could, if nothing else, he's going to be a very solid, very reliable quarterback for your team. But I think his ceiling could be the type of breakout that we saw Joe Burrow have, when he finally came into his own.
Well, that's a big breakout. That's big. That's big there.
But I think he could. I mean, look at what he did with Christian Kirk, who everybody thought the Jags were insane to pay with. They dumped a truckload of money on him, but still has him, who he obviously had great chemistry with. They have Evan Ingram, who his career has been resurrected, still a really athletic tight end. They have Travis Etienne, who, was his buddy from college and is a phenomenal pass catcher. Now they've got Calvin Ridley, second year under Doug Peterson. I think a breakout is very, very possible.
They have such a solid offense right now. Like, legitimately, they are the jewel of just the AFC and NFC South right now.
Right.
His final ranking in 2022 is QB6. So
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm looking.
That's what I'm saying.
I got to scroll. Fields QB13. Not bad. But yeah, no, I definitely agree. We're going to talk more fantasy right before, the season starts. I've got rankings and all that, which I'm excited to get into. I just got to find free time. Well, the work's been cray-cray, as I'm sure with you as well.
Yeah. Yeah,
both waiting on important news.
Very, very much so. I tell you, and that's the thing that I hate about it. Like, I hate waiting for an answer. Like, if the answer's no, that's fine. Just tell me. That's cool, great. That's fine. Yep. I'll try again later. But I hate waiting for an answer.
I know it's been. This is the third week, I think now, and I keep checking my email every day because I said, we'll email you if you don't get the job. And so I'm like, okay, I haven't gotten a phone call from anybody today, so I got to check my email. And it's just like, I probably won't get it, but tell me now.
I took the exam back in September.
Yeah.
And then waited a few months, got, informed that I made board, and then had until June to submit my package to the board. And now
submit this.
I should have saw that coming. And then now, so Monday I'll figure it out. But
that's awesome.
Neither here nor there. On to the number 2 team, who I'm pretty sure that we're probably lockstep on this one for the AFC.
Yep.
Tennessee.
Yep. That's what I got. So I'll just give you a breakdown, and this is pretty much exactly how I had it before I even looked these up. Vegas has Jags at -155, Titans 350, Colts 600, and the Tejans at 1,000.
Yep.
So I could see like Titans, maybe.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be close enough. I'd have to look up their strength of schedule, but like, if you put $5 on the Titans, you can win a little bit. You can win $8.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're the only other team that is somewhat complete. A Ryan Tannehill.
They're definitely on the downslope.
For sure. I think that they are just outside of like on the verge of having to, go through a rebuild. Because, I mean, Derrick Henry, God love the guy. He's a freaking Yeti. The guy's just a bulldozer, but he's starting to get a little long in the tooth. And when
especially running back of his caliber and size and punishing running.
Right. So, and it's so scary. You talk about fantasy. I think he's at a value right now. I like, I like the idea of getting one more year out of him.
Yeah.
But it's scary being the one holding the bag, because when he loses it, it's done. There's either someone's going to end up holding the bag on him.
Yep.
And
you don't want to be the one. Like I don't have him like high on my list of people. Like he's not even. I think I'd be comfortable getting him in like. So I have pick 4 in a 10-pick draft. So I'd probably get him more likely in like the 3rd round with my first pick, or with my pick in the 3rd round. Right now, he is way down here on the list. He's at 14 on Fantasy Bros as Pros as Fantasy Bros. That should have been their podcast name. That's such a better name.
Yeah.
But so he's ranked 14. He's RB7. ADP for him is 16. So
right.
Ours is a 2 QB league, though, the one that we're drafting tomorrow. Gotcha. So
yeah. So quarterbacks
that's where my head is right now. Yeah. I'm expecting it's going to be a run of through at least the first 4 picks quarterback.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Because I'm definitely most likely, spoiler alert, Keith, most likely going QB.
Right.
At 4.
No, but I think, fantasy aside, I think that they're probably the most complete, most competent team, with enough veteran presence there of the teams remaining for the AFC South. DeAndre Hopkins is, depending on his health, I think will make a nice addition. Him and Treylon Burks should be good.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good little 1-2 punch there, and it should take enough pressure off of whoever the quarterback is that Derrick Henry can still rumble.
I will give you this insight. I'm on Titans Wire right now. The experts. Mm-hmm. The best case scenario out of the experts is 8-9.
Wow, that's the ceiling.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
So, and just kind of looking at their schedule, I can see it. They got a tougher schedule. It's not high on the strength of schedule list, but yeah.
All right. Who's your number 3?
Colts
for the AFC.
No, Colts, I can see, Anthony Richardson is a dog. He's got an arm on him. You know, and if Jim Irsay stops fucking around with Jonathan Taylor, and he actually plays, like, I could see them making a run for second in that.
Yeah. Wait, you said the Colts are your number 3?
Colts are my number 3.
Okay. I'm a little bit different, and I'm really splitting hairs here, but I got the Texans finishing 3rd in the division.
Yeah.
I like their new head coach. I think that CJ Stroud is none of the quarterbacks are anywhere near as athletic as Anthony Richardson, but he's athletic enough, and I think he's a bit more polished of a passer than and that not we don't know what the hell's going on with Jonathan Taylor. That's he's like literally the centerpiece of their offense, but guy is not showing up to the facilities at all.
No, he's out. He's out on a personal issue right now.
Right. I mean, but like, didn't they say the same shit about Le'Veon Bell, like when he was going through his drama with the Steelers at first?
Yeah, but Le'Veon Bell wishes that he didn't go through that.
Oh, sure, 100%. But I bring that up to say they mask a lot of that stuff. Oh no, he's got a personal thing. It's fine. No, we're good. We're good. We're good.
Everything's solid. No.
Yeah,
no, it's not. They've got them on Colts Wire at 8-9.
Yeah,
the Colts.
Yeah, I mean, I do like some pieces on that offense. I think that not so much for fantasy, but Alec Pierce, I think that he has potential, and I think in due time, I think that Anthony Richardson will be a good quarterback in the NFL. Once he cleans up some of his wild throws.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of like Lamar Jackson wasn't the best passer when he came into the NFL.
Yeah, he got better. I still wouldn't say he's the best passer.
No, he's
got a lot of value in his legs, but he's good. No, he's got a deep ball like Anthony Richardson.
Right, exactly. So I think that he'll be fine. Kind of same Lamar Jackson archetype. So I don't know. I think that the Texans are slightly more polished. They have the defenses between those two teams. I think I would maybe give the edge to the Texans.
See, that's where I go Colts because I really like Shaquille Leonard.
Oh, that's fair. That's true. I don't know. I mean, you're really splitting here. Like, I wouldn't be surprised either way. I just think that CJ Stroud in his rookie year is going to be better than Anthony Richardson. And if they end up turning to Gardner Minshew and the Texans end up, turning to Davis Mills.
I'm giving Davis Mills the line there.
Yeah, he wasn't bad at all. Like, I think a lot of people gave him crap. Well, he wasn't great. Like, I mean,
he was in his rookie year,
right?
Surprising.
He was very much. He statistically had the best season of all of those rookies. Yeah, he did enough to warrant the opportunity to start last year, to be the QB1 last year.
Yep.
Now, that being said...
And then he showed who he really was.
Right, for sure. That being said, I'm actually kind of surprised that they named Anthony Richardson the week 1 starter, because I think that there are far worse QB. I mean, but then again, they drafted the kid, you know. So I don't remember. Do you remember where he got drafted at?
4
overall.
Fourth overall. Yeah.
Yeah. So they that is a hefty draft price. So, you know, so I guess it doesn't surprise me as much knowing he went that high. But Gardner Minshew, he's not a world beater, but there are far worse quarterbacks in this world than Gardner Minshew. He has moxie. I think that, you know, but then again, like he's not enough of a seasoned veteran to be like the mentor type or anything like that.
No, he's there to clean up just in case.
Right. For sure. But I was really hoping that whatever week it is that the Colts come to play the Jags, I was really hoping that Gardner would be the start of that game.
That would be
like
nice
the
to see
ultimate
him there.
revenge game.
Just
Yeah.
like, I used to rule this place.
Yeah.
This is my land. Now it's yours, pretty blonde man.
Yeah.
So, you know, AFC South, I think we're fairly even there outside of our 3-4. I see the Texans as like a 5-win team again. I think they're going to be going for the number 1 pick again. I just don't think they're there yet. And the Colts have a solid defense. They've got some pieces there. There's a lot that depends there. Blake what was he again?
I want to say he was Texans Colts as well.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds right. That does sound right. And then let's shift gears, buddy.
Yeah.
Let's go to the NFC. The no fucking care South. This is a bad. You know, I call the NFC East the NFC least a lot.
Yeah, but
it rhymes. It's funny.
Well,
this is the real least.
For a while, they were the shittiest division in football, like by a mile.
They were,
but no more. So for me, I think that I feel pretty comfortable for the NFC South in picking the Saints to win this division. I think that Derek Carr is an upgrade over Andy Dalton and Jameis Winston. I like he still has a pretty good deep ball. He has Chris Olave there, who I think is primed for a breakout this season. Alvin Kamara's got a 3-game suspension on his hands, you know, but he'll be back. And from all the reports I'm reading, the guy is explosive. He's looking great. He's in shape. Of course, you know, all these hit pieces that come out camp, you know, of all their big name players, they're going to say stuff like that.
Keith, really quick, type in the chat what your AFC South is. Also, how's the swinger party?
So no, I've got and the
Saints
still
Saints
have
this year.
I think they still. Yeah. Michael Thomas is healthy.
Finally.
Yeah, finally. Michael Thomas is healthy, so we'll see what happens there. But I think that Derek Carr will be an upgrade over what they had last year. They've got some pieces there that I like on offense, and on the defensive side of the ball, they had one of, if not the highest, I want to say, they had like some crazy stat, like they were like a sack juggernaut. Like they had like one of the higher sack rates in the league.
Well, I think they've got probably the best secondary in the league for sure. Marcus May and Tyrann
Mathieu. Yeah,
Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah.
And then Lattimore and
Marshawn Lattimore. Yeah.
Yep. I'm looking at their preview right now. Cam Jordan is going to be 34. So Keith says Jags, Titans, Colts, Texans. So he's right there, equal with me.
Yep. So who do you got number one?
In the NFC South?
Yep.
I'm going to go with Vegas and just say Saints.
Okay.
There's no, there's not a, I don't have a runaway favorite. Like the Jags right now, Vegas has them as minus whatever.
Right.
It's like minus 115 or whatever. Every team is for the NFC South is like plus 115, plus 190.
Right.
The only team that's out of it, according to Vegas, is
Tampa.
Is Tampa at plus 1,000.
Yeah.
But even the distance between the Falcons at plus 190 and the Panthers at plus 400, that's not a lot, So there's not a lot of belief in this setup.
No.
But I definitely have the Saints. I think just their defense alone keeps them in it. And then I also think that Derek Carr is an upgrade. I think that he's probably actually going to have a better season than the guy that replaced him.
Yep.
That was
over in Vegas.
Total Josh McDaniels move, by the way.
Of course it was.
That's Bill Belichick's throwaway scraps, of course.
Of course, yeah. And you saw the same thing when Bill O'Brien was in Houston. It's like he tried everything he could to make the Texans the Patriots.
There's Keith's.
Saints, Falcons, Bucks, Panthers. Oh, he's got the Bucks finishing third.
Panthers almost, they were 8-9?
The Panthers, I'll tell you one thing about them. They have a solid defense.
They do.
They have a very, very good defense. So I'll tell you what, if Bryce Young can, come into his own a little bit and play halfway decent, I'm torn between them and the Falcons is my number 2.
Exactly. And that's what I was going to get at is who's their quarterback in the Falcons? Desmond Ridder?
Desmond Ridder.
Yeah. He didn't look very good last year, did he?
No.
Yeah. Bijan is currently slated as their third string running back.
Really?
Yeah. Or he was recently. I don't know.
Who's their number 1? Cordero?
I don't think he's with them anymore. I'm going to look that up.
It's got to be Tyler Algier then.
Let's see. Falcons. So I'll go to the actual Falcons. Cordero is there.
Okay.
Oh, this is 2022. Bitch, give me 2023. You don't have an official one. Okay, cool. So ESPN right now has Bijan slated in as one now. Okay. But I know earlier this week, Patterson's hurt. There you go. Yep, I just saw he's questionable. So Tyler Algier would be their number 2. Gotcha. Which I think was gonna be how it was shaken up. Cordero was listed as the one, is what Keith said.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. And really, Tyler Algier, didn't he break their rookie rushing record? The Falcons' rookie rushing record?
That's a good. Yeah, I think so.
So give the kid his flowers. He's not a bad running back.
Yeah, let's see. 1,000 yards, so he was 1,000-yard rusher, and I was pretty high on him coming out of the draft too. And I remember I did stash him in a few dynasty leagues, so that helped me out.
Yeah. Well, we got to call a number 2.
I'm gonna go New Orleans and then Atlanta. I'm gonna go Atlanta.
Okay. This is tough.
I think there's just more there.
Yeah. But the only thing keeping me from fully committing to Atlanta is I think that I still really, really, really like the Panthers defense. put them with a competent offensive unit, and that's a borderline Super Bowl level defense in my opinion. But it's just the offense that I'm not super confident in. I mean, they brought in Adam Thielen, who's he's on
scrappy.
his swan song. Yeah.
That's what you call white guys in sports. They're scrappy.
Yeah, they're scrappy.
Unless you're Christian McCaffrey or a quarterback.
Yeah. But he's getting up there. I think he's probably got another year or two left in him, and then he exits stage left.
Get out.
But they've got DJ Chark now, I believe, as well.
Yeah. And he was there, and I think wasn't he there? Or no, who did he play with last year?
He was with the Lions last year.
That's right.
Yeah.
Chark attack.
So they've got him. They've got Miles Sanders from Philadelphia. He's there. So there's some offensive pieces that I like there.
There's
really
stuff there.
And they have a decent offensive line. I mean, you saw what they were able to do with Deontay Foreman and Chuba Hubbard last year.
Which Deontay Foreman, he's a current Bear, and I'm so happy.
Now. He's a Bear now.
He's a stud.
I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to say Saints 1, Panthers 2.
All right.
Yep.
That's it'll be fun. It'll be fun. I mean, you got Brian Burns, Shaq Thompson, Von Bell's there, Xavier Woods, JC Horn, like you said. Like you got Jeremy Chin. I always like bringing him up because he went to Southern Illinois.
Nice.
He's a Saluki.
Yep.
We don't really need to talk about Tampa Bay, do we?
No. I thought it was funny. I can't remember if it was on ESPN or some other sports network that had the Buccaneers depth chart, and it said QB1 Baker Mayfield or Kyle Trask. Like it didn't say QB1 Baker Mayfield, QB2 Kyle Trask. It said QB1 Baker Mayfield or Kyle Trask. Everybody else, like here's the 1, here's the 2, and so on. No, for the quarterback position, they had an or next to it.
I think that they're gunning for sucking for the number 1 pick.
Which is a shame, man, because I really like both Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. They're
both old though. They're on the downslope.
Sure, but I mean, hell, Mike Evans, man, he just had his 9th consecutive 1,000-yard season.
It's true.
Yeah, so he's still got juice, man.
How old is he? He's 29. He's not old. What the fuck am I talking about? I thought he was in his 30s.
Yeah. I think he just gives you that vibe because you think all the way back to like the Jameis Winston days.
Yeah, well, it also like he's had 9 seasons in a row with 1,000 yards. Like, damn, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame. I think that they're far and away the worst team in that division, possibly of both divisions. Like you trade the Buccaneers for any of the AFC South teams, and I still think that they finish last.
Really?
Yep.
I'm kind of with you there. I like their defense. Like they've got some pieces there. Levante David is a stud. Devin White is a stud.
Yeah, Devin White. I like that kid a lot.
The Kalia Cansey, their rookie. He's injured right now, but I like that guy a lot. He's a defensive end. I think it was Clemson, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Number 8. But yeah, the NFC South, what a mess.
It is. It really is. And I don't think that I think like I said, you trade the Buccaneers with any AFC South team, and you could almost make an argument. Well, no, I won't say that. I was about to say like I don't know that I feel 100% comfortable with that. I mean, maybe like if you took the Titans and traded them with any of the NFC South teams, the Titans might have a pretty decent shot at winning that division. I don't know that I necessarily feel the same way about the Colts or the Texans.
I like this. I definitely like the Saints more than I like the Titans.
That's true. That's true.
You know, again, hell of a defense. They've got some weapons. I forgot that their number 2, which is now their number 1 running back, was Jamal Williams, who I was banging the fucking table for the Bears to get because I love that dude. He's a stud.
And who's their rookie running back? Gosh, I can't think of the guy's name.
Kendra Miller.
Kendra Miller. I think that he has a lot of potential as well. Yeah.
He's round 3.
Yep.
Yeah. And Kamara's only gone 3 games.
Yeah. It's 3 games.
That's it. You just got to get past you ride Jamal Williams hard for 3 games. You know, I'm interested to see what happens with Taysom Hill in this offense.
I think with the better quarterback play from Derek Carr, they can use Taysom Hill a bit more in his Swiss Army knife type role.
Yeah. He's currently listed as the number 2 tight end.
And I love that, like in certain fantasy formats, he's still, technically a tight end. But I remember
he's got dual
eligibility.
Yeah. I played him in one league in my tight end spot.
Yeah.
I think on a starting week.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was saying. I want to say he had played, I don't think it was last season, but the season prior he had, I forget who it was they played against. I want to say it was the Falcons. I can't say 100% for sure though. But yeah, he got the starting nod, and I had just picked him up, scooped him up off the waiver wire because I got to see it. I was still living in California at the time, so it was crazy early in the morning for me, which meant that I got a little bit of a head start, I think. But yeah, I scooped him up off the waiver wire and started him at my tight end position. And yeah, I mean, for a quarterback, he really didn't do, great, but for your tight end to get you, a solid 18 points, like that's.
He's a Swiss Army knife, but it's the Swiss Army knife that your grandpa had, and it's like the red one, but the edges are a little rusty because he used it to get like fish hooks out and stuff.
Yep.
Like, he's not the best Swiss Army knife. He's not a Leatherman, but still admirable.
Yeah, I mean, for fantasy purposes, he is the ultimate lottery ticket. He is the ultimate Jekyll and Hyde. But as an actual NFL player, I love Taysom Hill. I think it's so cool that he is able to contribute in so many different ways.
I like it. For the record, he's currently, for your 3 tight end league, he is 26 is what he's ranked.
Wow.
And he's ahead of the rookie Michael Mayer from Las Vegas. Noah Fant. They have him listed above Noah Fant. They have him listed above. How far has this dude fallen? Zach Ertz.
Oof.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's nuts.
Ugh.
Oh, and we haven't gotten. Well, we did talk about the West. I think that the Cardinals are. The Cardinals and the Rams are other candidates, to be tanking pretty hard this year.
Yeah, I mean, it would be smart for them.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think the Rams have a choice. The Rams don't have a choice.
They say that they're not doing it, but they got $78 or $72 million in dead money. Like, that's just money that against the cap that they have to put in a pile and scoot off a cliff.
Yep.
Like, they you have to rebuild this team. Just fucking boom,
tear it down to the studs.
Tear it down hard right now.
Yep.
Hill started against the Falcons.
Hey, I was right. So yeah. Okay. I was right. It was the Falcons.
And I think I started him at my tight end position in our league, Keith and I's league, with 2 QBs. So technically, I had 3 QBs starting that week, and I think that was the week that I got my only win. It was a rough year. I got way too stoned. Not happening this year.
I was able to use Taysom Hill as a tight end in that game, Keith.
Nice. That's what I did too. That's what I meant. Is I had my 2 QBs in and then him. So I had 3 quarterbacks starting.
That's awesome.
So I know in the AFC West, you've got a Super Bowl contender there, and I would say maybe 2 if things go right with the Chargers.
Yeah,
didn't really see any team out west. The 49ers again. Everything goes well. They're so fucking talented.
Yeah,
best defense in the league. Out of these 2 divisions, it's really hard to see a solid actual Super Bowl contender outside of the Jags.
Yeah, that's exactly.
And I don't put them up there on the same tier as Kansas City,
and
the Chargers, and
you can say it with a lot more confidence between the Chiefs and the Chargers. I think that the Jags, as far as Super Bowl contendership go, I would kind of put them in a sleeper category. I would not completely write them off. I think that a world definitely exists where they could get there if Trevor Lawrence has the seismic jump and the seismic
if he has the same leap that they're saying Justin Fields is going to take this year.
Right.
Yeah. Because if Justin Fields is going to do it, why can't Trevor do it? They were technically they should have been the one too.
You go back to when Trevor Lawrence was drafted, they were lauding him as the best quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck.
Generational.
Right, generational. So if he lives up to that now in year 3, which in a way you almost can't even count the year with Urban Meyer. That was such a shit show.
Well, that was Matt Nagy's last year at the Bears too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like Eberflus and I like the offensive situation that they're in with Luke Getsy. Obviously they didn't have the talent last year with the Bears, but Doug Peterson with the Jaguars now.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that fit.
Absolutely.
And it's the same thing. Like, I really like Eberflus and Getsy for my quarterback, and it's the same thing with the Jags. He's in a perfect position.
Like, the players absolutely get behind Doug Peterson too. Now you could watch, for the short while that Urban Meyer was in town, poor Trevor, had to come up to the podium and defend his coach, and this, that, and the third. But you can tell, Trevor Lawrence genuinely loves Doug Peterson. That whole locker room really, really has gotten behind Doug Peterson and his philosophy. And no, I think that if he does break out the way I think he could, the Jaguars, I think, are definitely a strong sleeper candidate for the playoffs, and to make a deep playoff run, I should say.
So currently on Vegas Insider, they've got all the big Vegas odds for NFL championship winner. They can't say Super Bowl winner, but
right.
For the Super Bowl winner, and the Jaguars currently have the 12th best odds. So there's a few that I have problems with. The Dolphins above the Jags. I just don't like Tua. I don't like Tua. I don't like the coaching staff there. Mike McDaniel is fun and he's a cool guy. I'm just not a believer in that team.
I don't mind the coaching staff. I like, because he's basically a budget Kyle Shanahan
or Sean,
but I'm just not sold on Tua.
Same.
Especially with his health.
The dude needs to retire if he doesn't want to be eating out of one of those big handle spoons, permanently in the next 2 years.
Yeah.
The dude had at least 4 major concussions last year.
Yeah.
Crazy to look at this though. The Lions, they're up there.
Mm-hmm.
Lions have the same odds as the Dolphins and Chargers at plus 2,100.
Oh, wow.
Who do you think's the number one?
Between the Dolphins and Chargers?
No, but just number one odds.
Oh, Kansas City.
Yep. Plus 600, plus 800 for the Eagles.
Yep.
And then Bills, 49ers, Bengals.
Wow,
Cowboys.
that's kind of surprising.
Cowboys are the top.
Oh, hell no. No, absolutely not.
Again, I don't see it.
I like Tony Pollard, which is rare that you hear me speak positive things about Dallas Cowboys players.
CeeDee Lamb?
Yeah, well, CeeDee Lamb, yeah. But I'm not, I don't know. It remains to be seen what, Tony Pollard looked explosive when he got time on the field, but he's not built like a typical workhorse running back.
6 foot 209. He's skinny. He's light.
A skinny boy. Yeah.
And he's 26, so he's ancient in running back years.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't know. It remains to be seen. I mean, and if he goes down, like, who do they turn to? Like 4'7" Deuce Vaughn?
We got Malik Davis apparently. I'm looking at his stats right now. I mean, it looks bleak. It's pretty bleak behind him.
Yeah, and I'm shocked. I mean, the only credence that I could lend.
They do have Brandon Cooks, by the way.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Fine, whatever, fine. But I still don't trust Dak Prescott. I mean, they literally got rid of the guy that wanted him to throw the ball more. So
yeah,
I don't know. I'm not sold on Dak. The one skosh of credence that I will lend to the Cowboys being ranked that high is their defense. They have a phenomenal defense. Micah Parsons is a man playing amongst boys.
Oh my God, he's so good. And then he's right there with freaking Van Der Esch.
Yeah.
Van Der Esch is a throwback linebacker. I love him.
True. Yeah, he's getting a little long in the tooth though.
He's 27.
Is he really? Leighton Van Der Esch?
Leighton Van Der Esch, 2018 pick. You're probably thinking of the other big white guy that they had. It starts with, I don't remember his name, but
I don't know why I thought Leighton Van Der Esch was older than that.
I don't know. Dude, Leighton Van Der Esch has a crazy fucking neck. His picture, his neck.
That's why you have that.
He's got the couch cushion.
Yeah.
He's got the couch cushion back there.
Yeah.
So that we'll get more into the Cowboys and the Eagles next week. Next week is our NFC East.
Our East.
Yeah, our East.
Yeah.
Didn't have a fun, crazy video. That's because Rick's a very busy guy, and we appreciate every little bit that you do.
Yeah.
It's fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
I basically run this show anyways at this point. I mean, let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do anything.
It's too funny.
But yeah, next week we're going to talk NFC East or NFL East.
Yep, NFC and AFC East.
I have a draft this weekend. Should have been with Blake, but apparently his mom's more important than his friends. And by the way, we set this whole draft up to drive down so they didn't have to drive up here.
What a jerk.
Take my Saturday and go have fun without my family and kids in St. Louis. Gosh.
And then we have our Powerball lottery
on Saturday as well.
Yep.
Which I'm going to try to tune into. It depends on if I'm driving home or if I'm hanging out with the guys down there. We're talking about playing golf or maybe going to Top Golf, which would be great. Clubs are in the car.
Yep.
So
Top Golf is fun.
I've never done it. I'm excited if we go.
Yeah, I can't golf for shit, but I had a lot of fun at Top Golf.
Nice. So we'll see. It should be a fun weekend. You got anything fun planned for you, Rick?
Not really. I mean, other than like
Shark
I said, we
season's
have
over, right?
Yep. That was a ton of fun. Oh my gosh, we didn't even talk about that. I'll just touch on this like super speed round real quick. So last weekend we had the National Arena League Championship between the Jacksonville Sharks and the Carolina Cobras. Obviously, the Sharks entered the playoffs as the number 1 seed, and the Cobras came in as the number 2 seed, and both teams were very visibly like the 2 best teams, very, very comparable in stats. I think their quarterback led the league in passing yards. Our quarterback led the league in passing touchdowns. A great majority, in fact, the entirety of the all National Arena League offense for this year were were only players from those 2 teams.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. So we had our guy, like our receiver was the offensive player of the year. Our quarterback was the MVP. One of our defensive backs was the defensive player of the year. So it was, for the National Arena League, it was kind of a star-studded event in that regard, for that league. And I'll tell you what, it had every bit, for a super small arena football league, it had every bit of excitement as you would expect out of a championship type of environment. The fans were loud as hell. That arena was packed to the gills. And it was a damn nail biter of a game. They ended up scoring the first 14 points. They go down. Carolina had a solid offense. So we defer to the second half. They drive right down the field and score. Then on the kickoff, our return guy, tries to pull a spin move, but as he's doing it, someone knocks the ball out of his hands, and they go and
that always happens.
Yep, they score another touchdown. Then just a lot of mistakes by us in the first half. I think at halftime they were up like 32-14 on us.
Yeah, because that's right around when I tuned in. I was outside grilling, and I tuned into the game, and I was like, "Oh shit, it's not looking good for Jacksonville."
No, but they came out at halftime and just fired on all cylinders, and it was phenomenal. And I got to give them credit. I didn't see anybody really leaving the game there in halftime.
Nice.
As far as the fans go, everyone stayed there till the end, and those that did were, definitely treated to a show there in the second half. And of course the ceremony there afterwards, I got to go down onto the field and, kind of literally, be spitting distance, from the players, high-fiving them and, oh, congratulations, good job, this, that, and the third. But it was just a really, really cool experience.
Man, that's cool. What was the final score on that?
I believe it was, I want to say 50. What was it? 50? Let me look it up real quick. It was, wait a second.
50-37. Wait, that's not right. That's not right.
I thought it was like 52 something. Let me see.
Oh, that was, I don't know. What was that?
Oops. Hang on. What was the, maybe not. Anyway, yeah, it was like
45.
50. It was 50. It was a 50 something to, I believe, 30 something. Trying to find it here.
54 to 45.
54 to 45. Okay. Yep. So again, down 32-14. They're going into halftime, coming back and winning the whole damn thing, and it was in a pretty convincing fashion. It was a lot of fun to watch. And kind of be there, getting a bird's eye view of the whole thing. The fans were rabid.
It's really cool that you got to do that all year this year.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun. Super, super thankful. Super humbled by the Jacksonville Sharks and my good buddy Xander. For kind of letting me shadow him and soak up some knowledge. It was a fun experience. Definitely something I hope to do again next year if I'm still in the area.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yep.
But that's about all the sports. We talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently tonight, Mason Wynn, the Cardinals prospect that got called up, got his first hit. And
nice.
The beautiful human that he is, actually, this is an asshole move. Pete Alonso, you know how you're supposed to give the ball back? Hey, first career hit, you give it to the guy. He threw it in the stands.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Wow. What a jerk.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they say it was mistakenly, but the fan who got the ball has given it to security to big cheers from the Busch Stadium crowd. So he ended up getting it back. Maybe he's going to get like a pair of gloves or like a bat or something.
Yeah, I mean, you reward fans for keeping the players.
Thanks, Austin. I appreciate that.
So, I mean, as much of an experience, it's all centered around the fans. It's cool that fans can sometimes see the players as humans. I mean, this is a much, much more extreme example. But before Brady unretired and came back to the Bucs for one last year, when the first time he announced his retirement, that ball from like the final touchdown that he scored, quote unquote, he ended up giving it back to Tom Brady, and Tom Brady like gave him a Bitcoin or something like that.
Yeah, something
and, like,
crazy.
A bunch of like autographed shit. Yeah.
I hope it wasn't FTX stock. Oh man, that guy got fucked if it was FTX stuff. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think about that until just now.
Yeah, no kidding. So, well, there wasn't anyone there, so fuck you, Keith.
What'd he say?
He said, well, there wasn't anyone there, so
jeez. Anyways, that's the show. We did an hour and 20 something minutes.
Yes, sir.
It was smooth. It was good.
Yeah.
Appreciate it having you on here.
I think this is like one of only maybe 2 or 3 times that it's just been you and I on the show.
Yeah. They always go well.
Yeah.
So I'm respectful.
Yeah.
Try not to talk over you too much.
Likewise.
But yeah, I appreciate you
on.
And if this is your last show in a while, it was a good one.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
It'll be for good news.
For sure, yeah.
Or eventual news, I would say, probably.
Right.
But we will be back next week with the NFL East, the NFC East, the AFC East. Got some real good stuff in that one. And maybe Danny will be back. I don't know. But with that, I'm just talking a lot because I'm trying to figure out what there it is. I found the outro. Okay. Bye.
Bye.